Okay, hello everyone. Let's wait for some time. Monal, I think I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible. Hey everyone.
Okay, let's wait. I think people will join.
Mhm.
Till then, I'll have something.
Yeah.
Okay, I think people are joining. So, guys, just give us a confirmation if you can hear us clearly. Just give something thumbs up. Okay, welcome back, Monal sir.
Thank you guys. Thanks for
So, we
joining
are
the
going to
session.
continue our session with respect to all the things that we are specifically discussing in our AI series. Krisha, I start ML by learning from you. Okay, thank you. Yes, clearly hear you. Hello, everyone. Okay, perfect. So, guys, just give the thumbs up. We'll wait for another 5 minutes and then we will start. Hello, Chris sir and Monal sir. So, we are live in both LinkedIn and in YouTube. Okay. So, people who are there in LinkedIn can also be able to see us over there. And who are in YouTube, they will also be able to see us. Okay. Hi.
Hey everyone.
Hi,
Hey.
Jenab. Okay, guys, come on, come on. Let's wait. I think people are not able to join or what? They have not got the notification. Did you all get the notification, everyone? Please do hit like. Yeah, everybody. At least you should be able to see. Yeah, some people. This is the problem, Monal. You know, we start the first session. There will be many people.
Yeah.
Second session, it will completely reduce, and third session, no one will be there.
We are not really serious on that, right? That is not
Hmm.
good.
That is the reason we should not take anything for free.
Yeah. Because the things which we are putting on YouTube for free, okay, these are
Hmm.
not really out there. And people only get serious when we put in the course. That's the thing.
Naveen says I am present since day one. Okay, perfect. That is good. I
Nice.
want everybody to be probably there. Self motivation is a rare currency, sir. Yes. Then suddenly you will start blaming them. सर जॉब नहीं लग रहा सर कॉल्स नहीं आ रहा सर दिस नहीं है सर प्रोजेक्ट बताओ सर क्या डाले सर all this kind of questions will come then suddenly you'll not have answers. Okay, there is a reason why we are taking all this kind of sessions for you.
Correct.
Yeah, so please try to utilize this, it will be good. Okay, so hit like, everybody. Come on, I want to see some likes, I want to see some thumbs up. Come on, you don't want the today's session, then I'll cancel it. No need to
Yes.
waste so much time.
And this kind of thing we have also done before. When people are not interested, we take it seriously, guys. Okay. We don't mock around
Hmm.
on this part. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So give some thumbs up and all. Yeah, it is very important. Okay, perfect. Hmm, great. Okay, so before I go ahead, I really want to make a quick announcement for some of the things. My guru who got my
Great.
job as a data scientist in Canada. Amazing. Congratulations, Pal.
Amazing.
Drink moringa tea and be calm. Okay. So I can install the image projects are really neat. Okay, perfect. So before we go ahead, I really want to make a quick announcement so that everybody knows about this. So see, this kind of questions basically come like, Krish, we don't know anything related to AI. We don't know Python programming language that good and all, right? So for this, we are specifically coming up with this particular course. Please do let me know whether this particular course is visible to you or my screen is visible to you. Um, and this will be helpful. I think there will be some kind of lag. We'll wait till this lag gets over. Today also there is a lag, Monal. I guess
Yes. Yes. I think it's
can't
like
help.
5 seconds left. Yeah, we cannot do anything. It is streaming.
Yep. But face and all we will be able to see. But I don't think so. This will be able to see. Mhm.
It requires few level of video sharing. I think again and again we have to do that.
I'm just trying to see whether that screen will be visible or not. I think StreamYard is having this problem. I'm just trying some other thing so that we'll be able to see. It's not coming.
That's not coming.
Why?
Let
Oh,
remove.
finally came.
It's came. Right? Okay.
Now it comes. Okay. So, guys, quick announcement. So, Monal, I think for you also, you have to wait for some time. So, before only you share your screen and start talking about the agenda and all. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So, everyone now who is able to see us, we are coming up with this particular AI batch completely from scratch. So, let's say that you're starting today, you don't know much about Python, you don't know much about machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, everything. So, we are coming up with this particular batch, become a data science and Gen AI masters. This batch is basically starting from March 22nd, 2025. This is only one batch in this year, which will be going for 8 months and will not have repeated batch of this, So in this batch, we will be talking about entire data science till generative AI. So if you probably just go ahead and see the syllabus, you should be able to see it. Mentors over here, there are 6 mentors. Monal is also one of them. Okay. Over here, we'll be having all the live sessions in Krishna Academy. We'll be learning so many different things. Just go ahead and see this. Okay. For anyone who probably wants to start learning AI from scratch, this course is definitely for you. Okay. So this is one quick announcement I want to do. So for this, I will go ahead and ping you the course link so that you can see this. Okay. And I will just pin this for you. Okay. Perfect. So this was the quick announcement for you. Now the further things I'll give it to Monal. Monal, you can start sharing your screen and you can continue.
Yes. And hey everyone, and thank you very much, sir, for presenting this good opportunity. And let me start sharing my screen, and then people can give me the confirmation how it looks like. I hope screen is visible, everyone. Can I get a quick confirmation, yes or no? Guys, I'm audible. Are you able to see my screen? Not visible? Okay, let's wait for a few minutes, and I think it will load by then. Okay. Let me try to open our slide, which I've mentioned previously, that this one. Guys, is my screen audible? Can someone please confirm? Yes, great, great. Okay. So in the previous class, what we have done, we have created a button. We have created our all the components of HTML and CSS. And the first thing which we have created from the JavaScript side is that index.html. We have created this button. Okay, the function JavaScript function, that means get devices. So let me draw this, and we will get clarity from here. So this is JavaScript. From the JavaScript side, when we press on the button that is list devices, we are calling the route. This is called as route. Okay. We are calling a route and sending some data or sending some confirmation that this button is clicked. This will be going to UVCon, which is our server. Okay. UVCon is our server which handles HTTP request. Our fast API does not handle HTTP request. It means our fast API does not deals with request and response. Our UVCon handles our request and response, and our UVCon server is going to be responsible for calling the function which we are going to create in the backend. Okay, so this is from the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript side that we are calling slash devices. Then with the help of UVCon server, we are calling this route, whatever the information which we are going to send. When I'm going to create new JavaScript function, then you will get clarity here. But when I'm calling slash devices, it will go through UVCon, and then UVCon will be responsible for starting or pinging on this particular route, that is slash devices. Are we clear, everyone? Am I clear what we are going to do now? So from the HTML side, we have this function ready, that is get devices. Now what I will do in the main.py, we need to catch this. Okay, in the main.py, we need to catch this. So we need to create the same route for. Okay, let me check the comments. Guys, are you able to understand? Can I move forward? What I just mentioned here, what we are trying to do, this part which we have already created from the JavaScript side, and this will be activated when we click on the button. Okay, when we click on the button, and we have to target slash devices. Guys, please quick confirmation. Yes, great. Okay, so now we have to write a function. Now we have to write the behavior when we get slash devices. So I'm going to copy this part and implement slash devices. Okay, so the route name has to be same as what we are targeting with our JavaScript, that is slash devices. This slash devices will be called with the help of our UVCon server, and we will receive it in our fast API. So I will mention slash devices. Okay, so this is slash devices, and then we will write something. Suppose currently I'm returning 0, but we will implement all the components here. Okay, so the function I'm going to make is devices. You can write any function you want. Okay, and for this ABC, because it was a dummy function, but we are calling our static index.html, so instead of ABC, I'm going to write serve UI. So when we start our UVCon server, the first thing is going to run is this slash route. Okay, and this route is the default one, and it will return us index.html, which contains our HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then when we click on list devices, we will get here in this function. Okay, we will get in this function. Now we have to write how can I get this function. So the task of this function is going to be, that is, when I get slash devices, the behavior I want is I have to get how many webcams I have in my system. Okay, how many webcam or how many camera hardwares present in my system. If your system is connected with 10, you should get camera 0, camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, like that. Okay, if your system has only one camera, it should return only one. If your system has no camera, it should return none. This is what we are trying to do. Where can we get previous videos? It is already available on Krish Naik channel. You can go to the video playlist, and there is a live section there which you can check. Okay, all the videos are already present there. So this is the behavior we want. We need to check how many cameras we have. So how can we do that? But before that, let me start by creating the structure. Okay, so the function I want to call here to check the camera, I don't want to write the whole function here. Otherwise, this all the structure will be cluttered here. What I want is a systematic approach. So what I will be doing, I will be creating a stream utils, a new file called stream utils, stream underscore utils.py, and it should not be inside static, it should be outside. Yes, I want to move this file. So see this structure, where my main.py file is located, in the same directory my stream.utils is going to be presented, because here we are going to work with lot of like camera related things. So anything that is related to camera stream, that is stopping the camera, starting the camera, or listing the devices, I'm going to mention in stream.utils.py function. All right, everyone, this is what we are going to do in stream.utils.py. So first thing is, see this code. Because you guys are not familiar with this code, this is all OpenCV. Okay, this is a library called CV2 from OpenCV Python. Okay, and then I'm going to create a class called streaming. Okay, this is a class I'm going to create, and anything related to this streaming, I'm going to implement it here. Then this init method function, which is our constructor, the first one is going to be self. And then currently I don't need any variable. We are going to implement it as we implement more functions. The function which we are interested in, okay, the function which we are interested in should give us the number of devices, okay, number of devices present in our system. So I will start by defining the function name is going to be list available devices. Okay, this is the function. First argument should be self, so that our function, our class, our function is related to our class. That's why we are mentioning self. Okay, in short. And then I'm going to create a variable, a empty list. Inside it, whenever I found a device, I will keep appending on devices. Okay, and for I in range of 5, you can later change it. Then I'm going to implement something. Okay, and once it is done, I'm going to return the devices. All the devices I will return. So what should I write here in order to get all the number of cameras in my system? It is pretty simple. Let me define it. If you're not familiar with OpenCV and anything related to computer vision, don't worry about the coding part. Just understand how I am doing it. Okay. So there is a function called cv2.video capture. cv2.video capture, and it takes the index of your webcam. If your system has a default webcam or a single webcam, the index will be 1. If your system has two cameras, it will be 0 as well as 1. Okay, you will have 2 1. This is the first camera, this is your second camera. So however number of cameras, how many number of cameras you will have in your system, it is going to be accessed by the index. In my system, because I only have one camera, if I write 0 and try to create object from it, okay, and try to create object from it, I can use this object to stream. Okay, this is all OpenCV versions. These are all OpenCV things. If you're not familiar, don't worry. Like, we are not going to cover in depth, but just understand that what each function, what each module is doing. That's the main goal of this 3 days project, right? So we will check that when the cap is open. Okay, there are multiple functionalities. We will check whether the camera is open or not. If the camera is open, only when the camera is open, okay, we will check that whether the camera is open or not. When the camera is open, we will not take stream but only the name. It means, suppose I'm streaming on camera 0. If cap dot is opened, if this gives me true, if this gives me true, it means at index 0 some camera is present. But if I mention 5, suppose I only have one webcam in my system. If I pass 5 here instead of this 0, if I pass 5, cap.open will return me false, because there is no camera with the index 5. That is, there is no hardware to access from. So it will return me true or false based on the availability of number of cameras. So this kind of logic, we will use it to retrieve number of cameras. Okay, you can think of this as a smart hack to do it, how to get number of cameras, how to get number of working cameras in your system. Okay, let me write this code. It is pretty small code which we have to do. So I will mention cv2 dot video capture, and then I will pass the index, because I am currently looking for 5 cameras. Not like, very few system is going to have 5 cameras in their local system. Okay, then I will get a variable called cap. Okay, this is the object of this video capture. I can read the frames, I can like stop the frames, I can stop this camera object, I can do a lot of things, but we are not going to focus here in this function. Then I will mention if cap dot is open. Okay, if cap is open, then in this devices dot append, we will append the dictionary, because we know that when this index is working, it means camera 0 is working. When for particular index it is not working, then we will not even append it. So what I will mention, I will mention id colon I. I'm writing a JSON, I'm writing in a dictionary. Okay, then the name of this camera I'm going to mention as camera and then I. Okay, this is what I am going to return. Is everyone clear what I'm doing here? Whenever I get error, I will not append it. If I'm not getting any error, it means that camera is working fine. Then at the end, once this function has ran successfully, we will have list of cameras which are working in our system. Is everyone clear? Why it gives 0? No, 0 is the index. Okay, 0 is the index. This particular function accepts mp4 file as well. So instead of I, we will write the path to our mp4 file. This is what we do. But in terms of webcam, this function accepts 0, 1 or 2 based on how many number of cameras you have. Clear everyone? And see why we are returning in this format, because in our JavaScript side, if I open our html.index in this function, this is how I'm picking .id and .name. And see, id and name, these are the keys. So we are accessing the JSON in our JavaScript side by accessing whatever the data that we got from the device. Okay, for each one we are storing into device. Just like I've written for I in range, here we are also doing the same. All the variables one by one will come into device, and we are picking from that JSON device.id, device.name. We will fill this option and value, which is a part of, this is the inner HTML value. Okay, this is the inner HTML value for your camera. And if you check camera, where is camera? Your camera is a label, and inside select we should put multiple values of option, right? Just like we have did here. But because our cameras are not static, we don't know how much camera we have in our system. Okay, we want to make it dynamic. So inside it, what kind of option we can fill. So we are filling it with the help of JavaScript. Okay, now if I run it, we will be able to see whether it is working or not. So let me run python main.py. It is running. So let me write localhost. Okay, so let's click on list devices. Now it should give us how much camera we have. Now if you want to see that side by side, I can also show you that. Let me minimize a bit and then click on list devices. See, currently there is no camera. Okay, currently there is no camera. Why? Because in select ID we don't have any options like this. It is empty. But when we click on list devices, it will call /devices. It will go through UV call server, go to main.py and return devices. Why it will not run? Because we have not used that function. So let me close it and first use that function. Okay, this function we want to use. So what I will do, this streaming I will import in our main.py. Okay, so what I will write at the top after this fast API or before this fast API, I will write from stream utils import the class name. Okay, this is the class name, and then we are going to initialize the object of that class streaming, and then I will mention as streaming. This is the object for the streaming class in which we have only one method. This is the method, right? So now this streaming is there. Now I will use this streaming in here. Let me remove this pass. We are already returning a JSON here. See, we are already returning a device. Inside it, we already have a JSON structure. Okay, it will get values one by one. So what I'm going to do, streaming dot list available devices. That's all I have to do. So when the routing will get to /devices in our Python side, it will call the class method. Okay, this is the object of our streaming class. This object will call its method called list available devices. Then all of this function will run, and then it will return us number of devices. So let's try to run it again. Let me reload it. So again, you can see there is no devices. Now when I mention list devices, something should happen in the terminal because it is looking for number of cameras. Okay. So is it giving me number of cameras, everyone? Am I able to get number of cameras? Are we able to do API communication? Guys, yes or no? Right? So we have built a pipeline. Now we just need to add our computer vision part. So you are already successful on whatever I wanted to teach you in this 3 days course, right? That is, how do you create a pipeline? Okay, that was the main goal. Now we will implement start stream and stop stream. Okay, now that we know which camera to access, now we need to pick all these values. See the second step. If I check the diagram, if I show you this diagram, let me present it. If I show you this diagram, you can see this button which we have implemented, which is called as list devices. This JavaScript part which we will implement in JavaScript block. Then slash devices will go through UVCon, then go to fast API. And inside fast API, we have mentioned which function to call when we call slash devices. It will return us something. That's why there is double arrow. You can see this is double and arrow. It will return us something. Then it will fill our drop down. Okay, it will fill our drop down. Now next thing is, when we click on start stream, it start stream to should take what are the available values and take it as an argument. Okay, it means, say this, for a start stream, it means if I want to start something, if I want to start streaming from my camera, start streaming, I need few details. I need which camera to start the streaming. Also, whether we are doing the blur category, whether we are picking the blur as a background or remove the background or default. Okay, we have mentioned multiple categories here. Also, the FPS, also the blur strength. So all of these 4 details, when I click on this button in our HTML, CSS, JavaScript section, it should take these values, not like you can say, not fill it. Okay, it should not fill all of these values here. Where is our, okay, so it should fill these values. Previously what we were doing, we were filling this drop down. Now it should take drop down, text box, slider, as well as this latest drop down, get these values into this button and pass all of those arguments which we are going to use in start streaming. If you see on the next slide, this is what we're going to do. So when we click on start stream, it start stream should start streaming from the actual hardware, which is my system camera. Okay, system camera. Then it will pass that stream into my YOLO V8, or you can say my computer vision backbone. Okay, then whatever the output from this computer vision backbone is going to be, I'm going to send it to my virtual camera input, because virtual camera takes frames or stream as input, not just frames, a continuous frames as input, and it will output it, which we can use in Google Meet, Zoom, and others. Is everyone clear about the flow of start streaming? Guys, are we clear on the flow of start streaming? Yes or no? Answer fast, guys. This will not take too long to implement it. Okay, great. Yes, please repeat. Okay, see, I'm only going to repeat one time. Okay, so when we click on slash start button, which we are going to do in our front end, where is our function? In this function, when I click on start stream, it should go from our JavaScript side and go to our fast API. But to start the stream, we require a lot of values. Like we need to understand what camera which we are picking, whatever this value for the text box is. Okay, if you check here, we need to check FPS, we need to check this blur strength, and also the background. So it needs to take all of these values from the front end as input and send it to our fast API, that is called start stream method. Okay, so now this route will start another functionality which we are going to write now. it will start the camera stream, send it to our computer vision backend, which we are going to implement, then send the output. This one is taking raw input, raw frames. This one is processing those frames and sending to virtual camera. Here we will do the actual blurring, removing the background and other things. Then we will send it to our virtual cam. This is the OBS part. Okay, I've seen one comment that we are not utilizing the OBS. We have installed OBS. This is present. As you guys can see that it is giving me 0 and 1 camera. This 1 is OBS camera. 0 is my default camera. That's why I'm not picking 1. What will happen if I pick 1? 1 does not even have any stream. It is a virtual camera. It does not have any input. So if I pick 1, nothing will come here. That's why I'm picking 0. And then I will send it to my virtual camera. This is OBS camera. Clear, everyone? Okay. So let me close all of it and let's start implementing things one by one. So first of all, we need to write things in JavaScript side. Okay. Yes, you are welcome. Let me open that JavaScript part. So we are going to implement, after this slash devices, we are going to implement another function. And I will mention this function as start stream. Okay, start stream. Why start stream? Because in the button I have mentioned the same name, start stream. So now we are defining the start stream. This is a function. It will take a lot of same things, but now we have to take value, not like populate the values. So to take the value, we should use document.getElementId. This is the method. Okay, document.getElementById. See, this is the method, because I have mentioned that all of this clicks, this buttons, where is our buttons? This values, right? This ID, camera is our ID, FPS is also under ID. This blur range, okay, that is our range values, and this is our slider. All of them have ID. So we are going to capture data by ID. Okay, it means this slider, this drop down which we see here, if I select camera 1, I have to target camera. Okay, camera by ID, and see, this is where I mention ID. So I will target the ID and get the values out of it. Whatever values you are able to see on the front end, we will capture it. Currently this is 15, so we will capture 15. This is camera 1, so we will capture camera 1. Okay, this is what we're going to do. So now in the JavaScript, we will mention document.getElementById. First, we want to take an ID, that is camera. This is what we want to take, and we want to take the value of it. And I will store in a constant. Just like in Python, we have variables. Here we have constant, and I'm going to mention source. In source, I'm going to take the camera. Now let me implement more, because we need 4 values. Second thing is FPS. Next is blur, and then we have background. You can check, these are the same exact ID which we have mentioned. This is background, blur, FPS, and camera. And I have to store those values from here. Constant in FPS, constant in blur, then background. And then I will take all of these values and create a new string which I will send to my route. This is how you do. So I will mention fetch. These are again JavaScript things which you don't have to worry about. Then I will write that I will be calling a route called start. Okay, so I will be calling a route called start. So let's create a route called start. So when we click on start streaming, it should go here, that is start, and that is what we are passing here. So in start, this is how we send values. Okay, this is how we send values. So I'm going to mention source is equals to, then I will mention this $, then I will write this variable. The source is going to be the key, and this is where I'm passing value. Okay, with the help of AND, I'm going to pass multiple values like this. This is first value. After AND, I will pass another value, that is FPS is equals to then this dollar sign I will mention, then this bracket, okay, curly bracket, then FPS. These are two values which I've sent with my route name. I'm not just passing slash start to my UVCon. I'm not just sending slash start. I'm sending the values that will go with that route. Okay, that is FPS, and then I will mention blur, and blur is equals to then dollar. The same thing will happen, and then I will mention this blur, and let me copy this component and paste it here. Okay, the last one is background. So all of these values will go with my route slash start. Okay, and then we need to catch it. We need to catch these values. We are sending these values from JavaScript, which we have captured here. We are sending it. Now we need to capture these values from fast API point. Okay, that means from slash start will be captured with fast API. Then we need to collect these values, and let's see how to collect it. Okay, so I will mention this slash start. I will mention start stream. This is the function. Okay, start string. You can name whatever you want. But here in this function, we will catch something. How we will catch? This is what we do in fast API. This is called pydantic. It means we are checking whether the source is of correct data type or not. This is how we do it. Source is the variable which we will capture. str of, okay, it is of type str. This source is of type str, and you will get this value query, and I'm restricting it to a default value of 0. Okay, this is the default value, but we will get our new value in first source. We will get source. In second, we will get FPS. In third, we will get blur. In fourth, we will get background. But I'm mentioning here our default value. Okay, this is where we will get value. This is our argument name. Just like in Python, we mentioned, suppose I'm mentioning DFA, and it takes multiple values like A, comma B, comma C, comma D. This source is that A. Okay, this is what we're doing. Then I will write others, that is FPS. FPS type should be int. If anything else will come from int, we will not take it. This is what we call in pydantic. Okay, we check the type of the data that is coming from root or route. Query, and by default value I want to be 50. Okay, this is the by default value I want. Then I will mention blur strength. I hope the spelling is correct. It should also be a int, and then I will mention in query a default value. I'm picking 21. Okay, it should be pretty high, and then I will mention background. So by default, if we don't pass anything, it should be none. Okay, we are going to remove the background. Are we clear, everyone, what we are trying to do here? So when we call start from the front end, okay, we will start this function and we will fetch all the values from the HTML element, all the element by ID. We will fetch all of these values, store into JavaScript variables, and then send those values along with my route. This is my route, and send all of these values. Okay. See here, if I write PyTorch, or let's search PyTorch ResNet. Let's see what will come. Can you see this search, everyone? Are you able to see the same format? Search question mark, then in Q I have PyTorch plus ResNet, and then we have something called RLZ equals to 1. Then it will be separated by OQ equals to PyTorch ResNet. Then again there is an end, and it has its values. So whenever we type something in Google also, our index, whatever we are searching, also passes through the route, and we are following this same thing. Everyone able to see this? On the route, we are sending these values. Guys, yes or no? Hey Dhruv, yes, I remember you. Thank you for connecting. Guys, are we able to see this route or not? This is the same exact thing what we are doing. Even Google does it. This is how we do communication. Okay, great. You guys are not really active in today's class. What is happening, guys? Okay, we don't have much time. So let me implement it. Next thing is, when our route is ready, when our function is ready, we are going to send all of these values, which will then get fetched with our fast API. Then when we have data in our backend, that is our fast API backend, we are going to utilize it. Okay, we are going to utilize all of these values. So what I'm going to do now, in the stream utils, because now we have source, FPS, blur, strength, and background, we are going to create another function in our streaming class, which will be responsible for reading the video files. Okay, reading from the webcam. So I'm going to create another function called def stream video self and then pass. Okay, self and then pass. Also, I want a method because as you can see on the front end part, I can change the background type, stop the stream, then again start the stream with the new values, right? So I need a way by which I can update all of these values in the backend as well. Okay, update all of these values in the backend. Update values like camera, FPS, blur strength, and background. Okay, so I need all of this to be updated. So what I will do when I'm creating this start stream, I want all of these things to be changed. So I want to create another function called def update streaming config. Okay, update streaming config, which will take few arguments like what should be the input source. My input source should be none by default. Only when I pass something, it should update. See what I'm doing. Okay, output source I'm also going to write. If we want to use output source later, currently we only have one output source, which is our OBS. Okay, that is our output source. Next thing is we want few things like FPS, blur level, that is blur strength, and for that I will write blur underscore strength. By default I'm making it as none, and then background, the background by default I want to be none, but this time the string none. When I get these values, I want to update the self variables of all of it, which I want to utilize in my streaming. See this, very simple to implement. I'm going to create few variables at the start, that is called input source, self dot input source, and it is going to be in source. Just give me a second. The same thing I will pass here. You will get a clear idea when I will implement it. Then self dot, you can say output source is equals to output source. Self dot FPS is equals to FPS. Self dot blur strength is equals to blur strength, not this. And then self dot background is equals to background. Okay, so I want to initialize this class and then pass all of these values. By default everything is none, so it means I don't have to change anything here. By default everything is none if we don't pass anything. But when we are start streaming, we are getting these values, that is source, FPS, blur strength, and background. So I want to update some things here itself. Okay, so what I will do here, the first function I'm going to write here is that streaming is my method, streaming is my object name. Then I'm going to mention What was the function name which we have created? Update streaming config. And I will pass all of these values. Okay, I will pass all of these values here. Source, FPS, background blur, and background. So input source, in input source, I am passing source. In output source, I am passing none because we don't have any output source. In blur strength, I am passing the new blur strength. In background, I will be passing the whatever the background user has selected from the front end. Okay. And we will update this in our self variables. Let me copy it. Clear, everyone? What I'm trying to do here? Or do you want me to explain all of it? Guys, see, when we initialize, when we create an object of streaming class, at the start everything will be none. But when we get stream, we are getting few more values from the HTML side, which is source, FPS, blur strength, and background, which we can change as much time as possible, right? As much time as you want. So if you want to stop the stream and then select a new background, you can start streaming again. Now the background will be changed. If you stop the stream, then change the blur strength or change the FPS you can again start the stream with the new value. So every time we are clicking on start stream, all of these values should be updated somewhere, right? All of these values should be updated somewhere, and this is what I'm doing. First command is update the configuration. This will update our input source, output source, FPS, blur strength, and background. So now our class is equipped with the latest information. Once we got the latest information, I'm just going to mention one more thing. Okay, one more thing is that here, if the stream is already running, suppose I have not clicked on stop stream, and if I click on start streaming again, do I need to start the stream again? No. The real method is, the real way is, we should first stop the stream, then we should start. So when the stream is already running, we should not start the stream. Stream should not start again. So what I will do, I will create a new variable. Okay, I will create a new variable here. Let me give you that. Yes. We will maintain a new variable in our main. Here I will mention self.running. At the start, it should be false. It should be true only when we start the stream. Okay, only when we start the stream. Okay, and just wait. Yes. And then here I will mention, whenever we click on start stream, the first thing it should update is self.running. Okay, self.running should be true. Okay, self.running should be true. Then with the help of OpenCV, cv2.video capture, this function I just mentioned, cv2.video capture, video capture of what? Video capture of what? Video capture of self.input source. It means it can be 0, 1, 2, 3 based on what we have selected on the front end. Based on what we have selected on the front end. Okay, self.input source. And I'm converting to int just in case if it is not converted, it is not in like string. Okay, then we will get an object of our camera which we can use to stream. Okay, which we can use to stream. At first, my frame index, I'm maintaining a frame index idx, and I will keep at the start 0. Video is nothing but a continuous sequence of frame running at a certain FPS. Okay, I cannot give you more detail than that because there are a lot of things when I talk about video, images. It is made up of pixel, it is matrices, number of channels. These are a lot of information, but just understand what this function is going to do. Okay, don't worry about the details. Then from this camera frame, we are going to extract features from our camera. Our camera is of certain resolution, right? Either it can be HD, full HD, 4K camera, or 8K camera. We don't know. So we are going to extract the information like what is the width and height of your camera resolution. Okay, the resolution. So for that, I'm going to use cap.get cv2.cap underscore drop frame width. This is going to give me width. You can see this cap is the object of our webcam. So the details of webcam is present inside this cap object, and we are retrieving it via this command. Okay. Then same thing we will do for height. But instead of this width at the end, I will mention height. Variable name will also change, height. This will be the most complex function in this backend. Okay, this is still simple, but as you guys are new, it will be little hard to understand. Width and height we have extracted from the camera. Then within try and accept, within try we will write something, within accept, okay, we will catch the exception whenever there is an exception inside E, and then we will do something with that exception. So now let's try to implement the try. Okay, so inside try, what we will do, self.original fps, okay, is equals to int of, this is how we are getting the fps. Okay, we are currently getting the fps. Cap.get cv2 dot, don't worry, I will explain. Just for first look at the screen, then I will explain everything. So suppose our camera, this is what I'm trying to do. See, suppose from the UI, our HTML side, you have mentioned that I want 100 FPS. But you need to understand your hardware capability. Suppose your webcam is only 5 FPS. And if you're trying to process with 100, your video will look faster, your video will look weird, or even you can get an error. But if user mentioned 3 and your camera is 5, this setting is possible because you have more data and you are using less. But here you have less data and here you have less data. Here you have less data and you are using more. This data is not even present. How can your camera get 100 fps from your webcam, right? So if your webcam is high and you're giving low input, that is good. If your camera is low fps and you're getting high fps out of it, that will create an error. So we will try to fix this scenario. Okay, so first of all, I'm taking the original fps of our webcam, not what user gave. User can give also 100. This is not acceptable. Okay, so we will try to fix that in the backend. So once we get this original fps, and if we get any error, we can print something like webcam, whatever the name of the webcam. We will get the name of the webcam where self.input source, webcam self.input fps, live fps, whatever user have mentioned, not available. Okay, so set the fps accordingly. Currently this is just like not too meaningful, but it will help us debug. Okay, so first we are checking the original fps. Correct, everyone? Okay, so this will give us some exception, and if you want to print the exception, you can also print the exception as exception and then here E. So you will also see what Python error you got. So once we got this self.original fps, then we will try to fix this fps. Okay, this is what we are going to utilize. So if this is not correct, we have to change this self.fps with the original fps. So this is the code, simple code. If self.fps is present, only when self.fps is present, we will check if self.fps is greater than self.original fps. What should we do? if the self.fps which user provided is greater than self.original fps, okay, then we need to update with original fps itself, whatever was camera supported. So self.fps is equals to self.original fps. Okay, this is what we are going to do. And then this is the frame interval which we use to process it. Okay, just wait. Original fps by self.fps, and this will be our frame interval. Else, if everything is fine, then this will be the frame interval. Now frame interval is that code which will say, now suppose user has mentioned in your input your camera is supporting 20 frames, but user has done input of 2 frames, 2 fps. This is what user selected from the UI. This is our camera capability. It means in each second our camera is giving us 20 images. In single second our camera is playing 20 image, but our user want to play on Google Meet. In single second it only wants to play 2 frame. So what we have to do, we have to skip some frame, right? At 0 index we will take frame, at 10th index we will take next frame. These are called as 2 fps. So we are trying to match the input fps of the original webcam with the user selected fps, and this one which we are calculating, this 0 and this index 10, how much frames to skip, we are going to mention in frame interval. This is what we are calculating. Okay, if user selected 20, if original camera is 20, user selected 2, it will give us 10, and this will be a frame interval. So every 10th frame we will only pick. Guys, are we clear what is this frame interval? If self.fps, it means user has not selected any fps, we will say our frame interval is only 1. It means we will take each and every frame. Okay, we will take each and every frame coming from the camera. Okay, yes, great. Now this is the most important part of the code, and it is going to be very simple. Now we need to import Pi virtual cam. Okay, import Pi virtual cam. Okay, and currently we will only use this Pi virtual cam, and then we will send all of these new frames to Pi virtual cam. So for that I'm going to mention with Pi virtual cam, okay, dot camera. See this, previously we have extracted width and height of our original webcam. Now when we create a file with the help of Pi virtual cam, it also expects width and height. But if our webcam width and height does not match with our virtual webcam width and height, it will throw an error, because the frame which we are passing to Pi virtual cam does not matches with the width and height mentioned in the Pi virtual cam. So this is where we are going to mention width and height. See this. So the width Pi virtual cam is taking, suppose I've mentioned 2000 or 20,000, and suppose height I have also mentioned as 20,000. This is very big width and height. Okay, it also takes certain fps, self.fps as cam. Now suppose your input resolution is 1024 cross 768. This is your webcam. This is your resolution of your camera frame, and you are sending in Pi virtual cam, you have mentioned something like 20,000 by 20,000. Is it compatible, guys? is this dimension compatible with your 20,001? Is it compatible? Yes or no? Answer fast. No, yes. So it is not compatible. So that's why the frame which we are passing to our webcam should also match the input frames. Okay. So the width and height is going to be the width and height which we have calculated here. So width and height I will pass as width. For height I will pass as height. Okay. This is what I'm going to do. Clear? And then we can write something like a print statement that our virtual camera running at width, this should be f string, certain width cross height at this fps, at self.fps, because self.fps will be number and I'm mentioning fps. Okay, we will get this print statement, but we have to pass our new frames which we have processed into this cam object. Okay, this is what we have to pass. So we will mention while self.running. So self.running should be true. This self.running which we have initialized here as true. So while self.running and cap.is open. We have used cap.open before. Only when it is true, then we will do something. Okay, we will do something. So we will use cap.read. This will give you two things. It will give you whether there is any frame present or not. It will give you Boolean values. We will store into RET. It will also give you frame. So when RET equals to true, there will be frame. When RET equals to false, it means there is no frame left anymore. Frame will be none. This is how cap.read works. So here we will have Boolean value. Here we will have the frame, the actual image from your video stream. And if RET, if not RET, it means if not true, it means there is no frame coming. We will break it. We will break this loop. It means there is nothing to process now. We will come out of this loop. Now, if frame index, which was 0 at the start, if frame index modulus, where is our next frame? Is frame index modulus frame interval is equals to 0. What we want to do is, our user has selected 2 FPS. Our camera is of 20 FPS. I want to extract at 0 index, extract a frame. When frame is 1, I don't want to extract frame. When frame index is 10, I want to extract frame. So our frame index at the start is 0. When we read new frames, we will increase frame index plus equals to 1. We will increase each frame, but we will take frame only when it is divisible by 2. That is frame index divisible by our frame interval. This one. Okay. Only when it is 0, we will take the frame. Here we will write our computer vision code. Once we get the frame, we will process the frame. We have to do blurring. We have to remove the background, and it will give us result. Suppose result is, currently I'm mentioning 0. Instead of the 0, we will write model inference by computer vision model. So the result which we will get, we will do another thing and we'll create a mask. Okay, I will talk about what is mask. We will do something. So here I will mention again 0, will do something. Okay, we will do something with this mask. And then we will write some more condition, process mask and create result, final result, and we will get some result frame which I will do it after this one. So result frame will be something So once we get the result frame, okay, what we will do, cam.send, this is cam object, cam.send, we will send the new frame, the new result frame which we will process, which the code for which I will write. We will do cv2.cvt color. Again, this is a concept of computer vision, okay. We are changing its channels, okay, from BGR to RGB. If you don't know about it, don't worry, skip it. But just understand that we are processing this result frame which we are getting, okay, cv2 dot color underscore BGR to RGB. So we will send it to our camera, and if we don't get any frames in the next FPS, sleep until next frame. Okay, and once everything is done, okay, once everything is done, where is our cap object? Yes, once everything is done, it means we are done with the processing. We can close this cap which was running, this cap, okay, our actual webcam input, we can close it at the end, cap dot release. So now we have to focus on creating this function which will be our Python backend. But this function will be responsible for streaming from our input source given so and so values from the front end. Clear everyone? So frames, we can also take the odd number frames. It's up to us. Based on the index, we will get the frames. We are not taking odd numbers. It can be even also. This is frame intervals. This is modulus. We don't use just for odd number or even number. We are just checking whenever these two numbers are divisible, it means we are in the correct frame. Okay. If this frame interval is 3, then when the frame index is 3, this will also be 3. We will change it. Okay. Clear everyone? And I think there is one thing left which I have not done it yet, which is all good, sir, right? No, something is not good. Why? Whenever we are processing a frame, okay, whenever we are processing a frame and when we get any value, we have to increase the frame index also. Frame index plus equals to 1. Okay. So this is the function which is responsible for starting the stream. Okay. So now we need to implement it. We need to call it. The function name is start video. So in our main.py, okay, in our main.py, now your new thing will come also. Okay. This is very important concept, but it's not covered in depth. So streaming dot stream video. Now see and understand one thing. Our Python is already running fast API and UVCon. Okay, our UVCon is handling fast API and our fast API is handling like slash devices and routes. These are called as routes. Okay, our fast API is acting on routes. UVCon is routing the routes, you can say, or request, routing the request. So when I say start stream, my Python is going to my start stream and executing things, right? And executing things, and it is done. Now, in the same time, I can click on stop stream. But if my Python will, because my Python is keep on reading from my webcam, right? My Python is continuously reading from webcam. It will not even collect this function. It will not even accept this function call because this function is not yet stopped. Are we clear what I'm saying, everyone? My Python is busy executing this. This is not completed. My webcam stream is infinite. My Python will be present here. And when I say stop stream, my Python will not go here. Guys, are you able to understand this problem? Yes or no? Say fast. We don't have a lot of time. Fast, guys. Okay, so we need to implement something. Okay, I will mention the solution. So when I click on start stream, before that I need to check if streaming dot is running. If it is already running, if streaming dot running is already present, if it is true, then I should not call and start stream. So I should return something from here. So what I will return? I will return my JSON response, which I will call from here, this JSON response. Okay, so I will return JSON response, and in JSON I have to write like a JSON body. The content I want to return to my front end, this will be sending to front end. Fast API is sending output to the front end HTML CSS. So I will return the content. I will say message that stream already running. Okay, stream already running. Then I will say status code 400. This code has meaning. 400 series means that it is successful. So we will return status code 400. Okay, I know there are a lot of things which most of you does not know about, but understand that we are returning the JSON, which is our response. Okay, from HTML side we are getting request, we are sending the response with a status code of 400. So all of it will not even go here because we are returning directly if the stream is already running. If the stream is not running, we are running this for the first time, then this new thing will come, import threading. How many of you know about threading? Processes, multiple processes running simultaneously. We don't have to understand it to use it. Currently in this project, what I will do, I will create a thread object. So from threading dot thread, I will create a new thread, okay, called stream thread. Stream thread. This thread, when I call this thread, it should target, okay, this is the argument, it should target streaming dot, what is the name of the function which will run the stream video. It should target, it should call stream dot video. Does this function takes any argument? No, it does not take any argument, so we don't have to pass any argument. And this thread is created. So instead of this, now we'll pass stream thread dot start, and I will return something, a message, okay, because it is successful, right? Streaming started from source. FPS we will get here because we know whatever the FPS which we are getting. So FPS will come here. FPS and blur strength will also come here. This is blur strength. And that's it. So see this. Now what will happen? See this execution. When I call start stream from the front end, with the help of UVCon, we will get the request. Our fast API will start this function. Our Python will start executing. But here, when it encountered thread, we are saying that we are creating a new thread. It means it is a different process. We are saying this Python, in our CPU, we have multiple threads. Okay, each thread is responsible for executing a unit of the program. Unit of program. Okay. Thread is responsible for, see, currently I'm using mouse, I am streaming on YouTube, I also have VS Code open. So all of these things are running parallelly, right? So this parallel processing is this thread is responsible for parallel processing. Okay. So we will be using one of the thread and ask the Python that start the streaming on a separate thread. So a separate thread will take the process, start the process, then it will return something. So next time, while this is running, it is running on a separate thread, I can also stop the stream. So when I click on stop stream, I should write a function which will say to my thread that I am done. Okay, do not stream anymore. So by this process can run separately from our other functions. So that's why we are running this part. We are running our code streaming.stream video in a separate thread. Clear, everyone? Just the understanding, it is a very advanced concept. If you say about like streaming, parallel processing, this threading is an advanced concept, but this is just the introduction. We are running it on a separate process. Our Python will handle it separately, and our system will keep on running here. Okay, all right, guys, are you clear? We have very few functions to implement. It will not take long. Only if you guys say yes, then I will start. Guys, are we clear? Because our Python is already handling this process, we will not be able to call any other process. To be able to call other process, we need to mention it in a separate thread, because this is an infinite process. Streaming.stream video is an infinite process. Yes, I will mention now how to stop this thread. Guys, I will mention now how to stop this thread. Again, very simple Python clever programming. Okay, then I've implemented start, which I will call from start stream. Now I will implement stop stream. When I click on stop stream from the JavaScript side, okay, just wait. From the JavaScript side, it is going to be very simple because it is not a complex part. I will create another function. This is the last function which you have to create from JavaScript side. I will mention stop stream. Okay, this is the function which we have added here, stop stream. Then I will write something. I will write what things it should do. It should first of all call stop, which we will implement in fast API. Okay, then same pattern that we have followed. Then we have to create a response.json. We will get the response from the fast API because we are going to return from fast API to here. Then we will take the data. Okay, but then we will take into data and process it. We will again send a JSON from fast API, single double equals to. Okay, then we will check document.get element by ID. We will update the status. Okay, see this. Where is the ID status? This one. At the start in our function, we have mentioned status waiting for action. See this, status waiting for action. So we also need to update this status. So what we will do here, we will update the status using our, because when the streaming is stopped, we can update the status. But first of all, we need to get the status. Okay, we will get the status dot inner HTML. We will take data.message. We will take the message what we are going to return from the fast API and pass it here. That's all. So this new data that we are going to get from our fast API, let me implement it. I know this is little complex, but you can watch this YouTube recording again and again. So let me copy this because we need to stop now. It will, the API endpoint is going, the route is going to be stop. The function name I want to mention is stop stream, simple. Okay. Then this streaming one which you are able to see here, this streaming is a class which we have created here, and you can see that now I will implement a new method def. Okay, see, I'm implementing a new method to stop the stream. This is going to be very simple. Update running status. Okay, self comma running status by default is going, I'm going to mention it as false. Okay, and I will update this status. Self dot running is equals to this running status which I just passed. So this function, this method of streaming class is going to update the status. So what I will do in my main.py, this streaming class has already a method implemented which we have implemented just now, and we are going to call streaming.update running status. Okay, by default the value is false, so we are not going to mention anything. So when we click on /stop, it is going to update streaming. This streaming is this update streaming, and streaming is a object of your streaming, right? And if you check closely in your stream video method, we have mentioned in the while loop that if any of them is false, we will not do anything. If this will not run, we will close it, sleep until and everything will be done, then we will release the cat. So this will be false. Self.running is an element of class which we have implemented now. Are you guys clear how we are going to stop the stream? With the help of classes and object. All right, /devices /stop /start and / is working. Okay, clear everyone? Now I will create a new Python file called engine.py and will implement things quickly because very few people here understand the computer vision part, so it will not take long. Okay, instead of doing it via function, can't we access class variable running directly and update it, sir? Class variable running directly, we can do it, but it is always good to have this kind of coding standard. You can use it like this one. See, where is our main? There are a lot of files now. You are saying that why not update something like this? Streaming dot running is equals to false, right? We don't usually follow this kind of coding statement. Okay, we need to encapsulate our things. It should not be visible. The components should not be visible. Always keep this kind of things in mind. Our component should not be visible. It should be hidden and always via methods. Okay, it is a part of system design. When you are using WhatsApp or any Facebook, are you able to see any ID, password, or other people? When you send something, is your network IP address and other things are mentioned? No, everything is encapsulated, it is hidden. And those kind of things you also need to follow in your real coding. This main.py is our main file, everything is going inside it. But whatever the logic is written, we are hiding it from the main implementation. See this, we are only passing stream video. Other users don't even know what we're trying to do here. But all of them are already initialized. Streaming, update, streaming, and other things. Okay, so we always follow that. So let me quickly complete this engine.py. It will not take long. Later part we can talk about it. So in this one we are going to import cv2 private. Yes, we are keeping things private. Then from ultralytics, okay, this is another library. This is a computer vision library. If you don't know about it, you need to learn computer vision. So we are importing YOLO v8, then import numpy as np, then import torch. This torch is the GPU version. In your system, if you don't have GPU, it will by default select CPU. Then I'm going to create a class called custom segmentation with YOLO. Okay, let me write few things. And self, and I will not mention other things, I will talk about it once this is done. Then I will mention self.model. Okay, I'm selecting, but you cannot change this model. That's why I'm keeping it, I'm not passing it as a argument to the constructor. Okay, and this is the model name YOLO V8M segmentation.pt. This is the model weights which we are taking. If you are not sure about weights, these are like actual learnings of your machine learning model or your deep learning models. Okay, these are weights. And then self dot background. Okay, I'm selecting all of these variables and I will keep a background image. Just wait. Okay, copy and paste. So this is the default background I will be using for when users select. Where is our user? When our user will select default. Okay, blur and no background does not require any other background specifically, but this is the background. You can change any background you want. It's up to you. And here you can change it. So I will read that background here, cv2.imread, then the path of this background. This background is present inside dot slash static slash the name of this file. And it will be loaded as an image which Python can use. Okay, you will not, if you don't understand cv2.imread, there are a lot of things inside it. Okay, it's not that simple. Then what I will do, just wait, we will start implementing the first one, that is generate mask. Let me show you what we're trying to do here. Okay, if you don't understand computer vision, it's totally fine. So here it is going to be our original frame. This is my head, this is my body, and it is of certain color. Not a good color. And I do have certain background. Suppose this is my background. This is how my original frame looks like. Currently, you are able to see all of this information. So what do we want? With the help of machine learning model. Okay, deep learning is a part of machine learning. So you can say, currently I will say computer vision model. Okay, with the help of computer vision model, this is the output I want. Okay, it is not giving me this output. So what I want is all of my interested regions. I'm interested in myself, that is the portrait part of myself. I'm not interested in the background. So what I want this CV model is, wherever I am interested, it should be one. Okay, it should be one. So all the ones is white, and wherever I am not interested should be black. And black is, wait, yeah, all the black is going to be 0. So when I pass this image to my computer vision model, it will provide me this black and white. That is, it will provide me a single matrix where 1 means me, 0 means background. And how this algorithm does it is totally out of the scope of this class. Okay, to understand this, this is called as semantic segmentation. This is a part of computer vision that you need to understand. And to understand semantic segmentation, you need to understand Python well, you need to understand image classification, architectures, how do you create CNN architectures, how do you understand object detection, and lot of concepts. Then semantic segmentation will come. That's why it is out of scope. But is everyone clear what is the output? When I've given this image to this computer vision model, it will give me a matrix It will give me a matrix where 0 means the interested region, 1 means not interested region. Now what I will do, I will multiply this input matrix to my original image. I will multiply this input matrix to my original image. And when I multiply 0 with anything, it will be 0. When I multiply 0 with anything, it will be 0. It means be all black. When I multiply anything with number 1, it will be anything. See, let me write this very advanced mathematical formula. Anything multiplied by 0 will give you 0. Anything multiplied by 1 will give you anything. This is the most advanced formula you will hear today. Okay. So we will get this picture. See, this picture is different from this picture. Here, a part of me is visible and everything else is black. Okay, everything black is not even visible. And this is mask, this is my original image. So I'm going to use this one image to be sent to our virtual camera. But with some updations. Okay, this is what we are trying to do. So let me write, this is called as masking. So the function name is going to be generate. If I want white background, you can do that. See this. First, see this function, what I'm doing. Generate mask from result. So whatever result we are getting from the frame, from our webcam, we are going to send here. So self comma results I will pass here. Okay, I will pass the result here. So for result in result, this is again, don't worry, don't see all of this coding. Okay, these are all YOLO things which is out of scope. So let me copy this part of all the YOLO components which I have here. Okay, these are all YOLO components. So from this result, these are the results from the computer vision model. We will take the result from the computer vision model. It can have multiple people. Currently, this is me. That model processes multiple people. So we will iterate over one people at a time. We will take the mask out. We will take the mask data in mask. Okay, we are only extracting the class of it. I'm only, this particular computer vision model predicts 80 different things. I am interested only in one thing, that is person, and person is present in 0. Okay, these are YOLO things. You guys are not familiar with it, don't worry. So we will process only the person. So here I will get the person. Then I'm extracting only the person part and saving it here. People mask. As I mentioned, this will be all zeros and ones. But in our actual image is ranging between 0 to 255. So I will convert this mask that we got into original image range. This is what I'm doing here. See this. I'm multiplying by 255 to get the original range. And this is the output, people mask. This is the output. Okay. Then I will return this output. Return this people mask. And if no result is present, that can also be a possibility, right? If my model is not trained well, or if there is no people present in the frame, in the webcam, it is empty, no people, then this mask will be empty, right? So I also have to return else none. Clear, everyone? So if result.mask, else return none. Are we clear, everyone? Yes or no? Things are becoming interesting. Things are getting ending. Okay, we are in ending. It will not take more than 10-15 minutes maximum. So this is where we are doing our computer vision. And this is via API. In my class, I used to teach without API, and I always suggest without API. But for the class sake, I'm going with the shortest path. Here you can cover within 10 lines, and without it, it is more than 1,000 lines. Okay. Yes, people are saying yes. So what I will do now, this is the class which has this generate mask from result. So what I will do in my stream utils.py, okay, in my stream utils.py, I am going to inherit it. And this is present in from engine import, no, from engine, where is that? Yes, we are importing this class, we are inheriting it. And this class currently does not expect anything, so but we need to initialize it. In order to use it, we need to initialize it. So what we will mention, super, that is your inherited class constructor, we are going to initialize it, super init, that's it. Okay, so now whatever the functions of this class is accessible in my streaming class, and where I should pass my frame to get the result here. Okay, here I should pass the frame. So what I will pass, see, this is the method in my engine.py. This is the model, this is my computer vision model, and I need to pass the result. Let me write it here, self.model, because self.model is a part of our engine.py, but it is accessible because we have inherited it. Okay, so I will pass self.model. Predict is a method from YOLO which you can use. It takes few things as input. Source equals to frame. I don't want to save the result, so I will mention save equals to false, because I want to use it. I don't want to just save it. Then there are other components like save txt. I want to mark it as false. Then stream equals to true. Yes. When we mention stream equals to true, it does not load things into, you can say, buffer. Okay. Retina mask. Retina mask. So people from my batches will know retina mask. I've already mentioned it. It's like your webcam stream is full HD. Again, it's a jargon, or you can say technical from the computer vision point of view, but your model takes input in a different shape. Suppose your model is taking 240 cross 240. Why it takes it, how it takes it, it's again out of the scope, but we have to resize this, and model will output in terms of segmentation. It is only going to output 240 cross 240. Full HD and 240 cross 240 does not match. But when we mention retina is equals to true, the model output, it is going to match with the full HD with the help of post processing. So when we mention retina is equals to true, we are going to get the same output size as our input size to the model. Okay, that's why I'm mentioning retina is equals to true. I know a lot of the things are going like over the head, but understand the flow. Okay, once I complete the flow, then I will revise it. Verbose false, it means I don't want to print any loggers. And device equals to self.device. We need to initialize self.device. I've not mentioned it. Okay, just wait. Yes, this is the code. This code, which I'm going to paste it here, is responsible for checking whether in your system you have CPU or GPU. Import torch. Okay, so this function checks whether your device, okay, your torch is able to use GPU, which is CUDA, MPS is for Mac OS, and for CPU, if like if you don't have MPS or CUDA, then it will run on CPU. So it will select the device. Because I have GPU in my system, self.device equals to CUDA. Okay, it is going to be CUDA device, which I am going to use here. So I am going to run my model on my GPU because I can access GPU. So this is what my model is. This is my model. I'm passing the frame which I got here from the webcam, and I will get a result. See this. And I will get the result. So result is equals to 0. Okay, so now this part is completed. Now this result that we got is a mask. And we need to do something with mask to create this part. Okay, we need to do something with mask to create this part. Okay, so next thing is we will pass this output. Where is our code? Yes, this is going to result, this is going to return multiple people. It is going to return you like, if I talk about this phone, it is going to return you that this is a mobile phone, this is a person, and below is, you can say, vase is there, and like on right of me there is a laptop. It is going to return me all of these detections, but we are only interested in person, and everything else should be removed. So we need to process this function which we have created. It takes result as input and provide you mask. So let's do that. Okay, let's call it. So this result which we have created, we need to pass to the function called self dot generate mask from result. It will take this results, it is results, and will provide you the mask. This function is going to provide this part. We are passing image, and CV model is going to give you multiple things, only which we are interested in person. This is the person mask which we will get in mask. Now whatever mask we will get, we will write the final condition. If mask is not none, if model returns something, only then we are going to process it. If mask is not none, we will do some processing. We will mention if self dot background. Okay, if self dot background, see this, if self dot background, if user selected blur from the front end, if user will select blur from the front end, we will call a function which will remove, which will do the blurring on the background. Okay, then I will get a result. I will implement these functions, don't worry. So function I'm going to call, which I have not implemented yet on our engine.py, apply blur with mask. It is going to take few things, going to take the original frame. This is the frame which is coming from our camera. This is the mask which is coming from our model. And then we need to pass how much blur we want. Blur strength. Okay, because these functions are not yet here, and this is our blur strength which we are selecting from the UI. We have initialized it in the class itself at the start, right? So we are going to implement this function in engine.py, and it is going to call and create a result frame, and it is going to return result frame. Similarly, we will create for two more things, because we have two more conditions here in the UI, which is no background and default. So let me implement it. Let me copy it because we don't have a lot of time. And you can see, if the self.background equals to none, we will call this function. If the self.background is equals to default, we will call this function. Okay, so now I will implement this function in self.engine, which returns this result frame. Okay, so this is our engine.py. This is the first method. We need to implement three more methods, and let me show you this engine.py. I will just explain what we are trying to do. This is the function for, we have, that will apply the blur. It takes frame as input, your mask as input, blur strength. It will apply blurring on the background. See, this is what we are doing here. In terms of blurring, we are taking this image. We are taking this image. This is our frame. We are storing it. We are creating a copy, and on this copy, we are doing blurring. We are blurring everything here. Okay, we are blurring everything here. Suppose this is the strength. This is what we are doing blurring. Now with the help of that mask which we have created, we will create this image. We also have mask, right? See this. We have mask, we have frame. From the copy of frame, we have blurred everything. We have mask also. Now we will use this frame, original frame and mask to create this one. Okay. Now what we will do, wherever there is black, okay, and whenever the pixel is greater than 0, whenever the pixel is greater than 0, we will keep as it is. Whenever the pixel is equal to 0, we will replace with blur. Whenever greater than 0, we will keep picture as it is, that is this person. And whenever pixel is equals to 0, that is all the black regions, we will replace it with all the blur regions. So at the end, you will get a image. At the end, you will get the image where your background will not be black, but it will be blurred region from your this image. Okay, in short, this is what we are doing. So this frame which we are getting, from this frame we are creating that blurred frame which I talked about. And from this mask we are saying that whenever my mask is 0, create a mask. Okay, whenever my mask is greater than 0, create a new mask with integer 8. And then we are going to merge all of this mask to create a 3D, because image has RGB channels. Okay, image has RGB channels. Then we will merge that whenever my pixel is greater, my pixel is equals to 1, okay, it will be frame. If not, it will be blurred frame. It will do this operation which I just explained. Okay, it will do this operation which I just explained. So whenever my mask is equals to 1, it will be the original frame. If it is not 1, it will be blurred frame. Okay, and we are comparing with mask 3D, this mask which we have created, and it will return the frame. Just like that, simple how to remove the background, how to create the black background, another function. This function will be responsible for creating the black background. See, we are creating a matrix filled with all zeros. Okay, and whenever there is mask, okay, whenever there is mask is equals to 255, we are going to replace with the original image, else we will keep it black. This is how we achieve black background. And for custom background, we will do, instead of this numpy.zeros of all black, we will replace it with the background image which we have loaded. This image which we have loaded, we will replace that pixels. So see, instead of this black background, now we are loading our background, and the condition is same. Whenever the mask is equal to 255, okay, whenever the mask is equal to 255, replace with me, that is original me. And whenever it is not equals, okay, replace with the background image, whatever background which we have selected, it will be replaced with this. Okay, and to improve this functionality, we have few more things which I've added, and it is again out of scope. That is called as erode function. Okay, in future classes I will try to show you OpenCV and others which we are planning to, and these are the part of OpenCV to improve the edges of your predictions. Okay, this is called as erode mask. So let me write few things here. Don't worry about it. This is to improve. If I try to explain this erode, it will take another like 20 more minutes. Okay, this is a big function. So I'm going to add erode size and erode intensity, which user cannot change, but it will be applied on my mask itself. See this? And I'm going to return this mask. Don't worry, I will talk about the flow. Okay, I will talk about the flow. But for this engine, now because this function takes 2 more arguments, this is something I need to mention in string utils. Because previously, all of it, that is custom YOLO, this arguments was empty. Now I am passing something. Okay, where is our string utils? Yes, now we are passing something. So now everything is ready. Okay, so these are all the codes which require. So see again, let's try to recap everything, then we will see the code. Okay, let me see if there anything else is left. So this stream thread currently, if this is not running, then this will throw an error. So we need to do something here. So before this is streaming, we need to mention it as none. Initializing by none. Okay. This part is correct. Other parts are correct. So we have 4 routes. Slashes will open the URL, open our original index.html. This start stream will start the streaming with the help of threading. This stop will stop a particular variable. It will update the variable and it will be not processed further. This devices will list the devices. Now, if I talk about engine, this stream utils, we have multiple functions. Let me minimize a bit. So this is the class which inherits our computer vision part. Okay. We have update stream config, which we update whenever we will start and stop. We have this running status, which will update the status. This function will be responsible for streaming from the input camera. Okay, see this. This function will be responsible for the start stream will be responsible for streaming from the input screen, input webcam input we will pass with our YOLO algorithm, which is our computer vision algorithm, which we will process with more functions. We can select background, no background, or remove the background, right? Or do the blurring. That we will pass to our Pi virtual cam as an input, which we can utilize as Google Meet, Zoom, and others. This is all the flow. So here we are reading the frames. These two are computer vision things, purely computer vision. Once we got those output, this is post processing of those computer vision and it will return us frame, which we are going to send to our Pi virtual cam. This is the biggest function. Inside it, we have multiple functions in our engine.py. This one is processing our computer vision model output, and this one is fixing that output a bit. Okay, this is used to reduce edges. Okay, if I talk about what erode does, I can just give you a small introduction of erode. Suppose this is the output and your outputs are edges like this. But if you apply erode, it will look a bit like this, but a little smaller. Erode tries to eat your image. Suppose this is your river, right? When erosion happens, the outer layer of the soil, this soil layers get more far away, right? And this is what erode is doing to your image. It is from this image, from this position, it is going to slowly eat your image so to get finer details. This is what erode does in short. So we are doing some processing from the result. This is to apply blur on the image. This is to remove the background, or you can say add the black background. And this is to add your custom background. Now people who wants to do like more custom things, instead of this image, single image, static image every time, here you can utilize a video frames and pass a new frame every time to your background. In that way, you will be able to play the video. Okay. And that way you will be able to play video in your background. So once everything is ready, let me try to run this. Okay. Everything is ready here in our code. And also in index.html, I can see that we have not mentioned one small thing, image scr, which I have mentioned. Just wait. It is src, source. And also there are a few more components like what is the alternative you should see? You should see that this is logo if it is not visible. And the class is logo. And I want to apply some processing on this logo to make it little, you can say, where is our logo? Just give me a second. Yes. The border of that particular logo, I want to stylize. Okay, these are just border radius I'm adding, and I'm adding right, top, left, and position on this logo. Okay, that's all I'm doing. So let's try to run it. Python main.py. Okay, you can see it is downloading the model because class is initialized and we don't have this model, and it is automatically downloading from the YOLO directory. You can see this model, everyone. This is the simplest project you can get. This is the model file. Now it will utilize the model and you can see it is started. This is the local host running. And if we try to refresh it, now click on list devices and see how your VS Code responds, whether it will be able to get all of those files. It should give us 2 cameras. It is checking few things and it should be populated. Okay, it is populated. Now it's time to close my camera because else it will not run. And let me remove access to my camera. Okay, and let me open meet.google.com and start a new meeting. Yes, I want to start the new meeting, and currently it will say this webcam is not working. It is not working because there is nothing here. We need to push the stream. So from this UI, I want this default background, or let's say blur background with this strength. A strength number, I will put it here, but I have not written it. We can also return strength from the slider to this function. And I will click on start stream. FPS I want, let's suppose 15 FPS is fine. Yes. Start stream. Let's see on the VS Code. So it will take little while because it is reading the camera and it will start the camera soon. So it is saying server.original FPS streaming not found. So what we will do, we will close it and fix it. I have the fixed version which I will paste in the GitHub. So let me quickly do update here. Okay. I think there is an issue with the name of the file. Streaming object has no attribute original FPS. Okay. So where is our streaming object? We have not mentioned anything like original FPS, which I'm trying to use it here. See this, original FPS, which is not present here. Okay. So the original FPS is going to be same as the FPS currently. Okay. Cam FPS. Where is our cam FPS? Just wait. Yes. So cam FPS I'm mentioning because I do know my hardware. If you want to know your camera FPS beforehand, by default I'm setting to 15 because I've already recorded this stream from my system and checked the properties of the video file and it was saying 15. That's why I'm mentioning 15 here. Okay. So let's try to start our server again. Python main.py. It is started and I will list the devices again. It will look for devices and hopefully it should start everything now. Okay, so devices are listed. We got the devices and then I will start streaming. We should not see any error here. If it is saying camera streaming at certain FPS, it means it is started now. Okay, let's wait. Okay, virtual camera running at 640 cross 480. That is my resolution of my webcam. And if you want to see on Google Colab, let's check this OBS camera and try to start it. Let's see if there is any error. No, there is no error. It will start because there are a lot of system running. So sometimes it takes time. Okay. Let me check if I've closed all of my components here. Yes, I've closed all of my components and it is already pushing it. So just wait. Yes, dismiss it. Or let me start things again if it is not working like this. Okay. And let me go back to the meeting. I hope stream is stopped. You can see CV2 module has no color. Okay, this is the issue. That's why it was not working. Okay, so where is the CV2.cvt color? Just wait. Yes, this part, right? So let me change it. The correct code is cv2 dot in small cvt color. That's why it was not sending anything. Okay, let's start again. That's how you debug, guys. Okay, this is how debugging works. I already have camera 0, so I will not start this function. These values are already populated. And let me click on start streaming if it works. Else I have to click on list devices. Let's see. Yes. So blur is selected. Camera source 0 is selected because it was already there in our HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And virtual camera running at FPS. Now let's go to our Google Meet again. Start a new instant meeting. And let me try again. Again, I think it is giving some error. So let me replace this code which is working. Okay. Yes, shutting down the server and stop it. Just wait a second, guys. Oh, okay. My camera was not visible. Let me start a new terminal. Conda activate broadcast. Let me replace with all the files because if there is any small mistake, still it will not work as expected. Okay, and debugging will take time, so I'm going to replace it. It will only change 1 or 2 lines of code, and then it will be fine. And what other files I have? I have engine.py, which I have it here. Okay, and everything is fine. So let me start again. If this does not work on my system because my system is already access to all of these ports, in your system it will work fine because you are not sharing the webcam. Okay, so don't worry about it. Start stream. Let's wait. Currently this is selected as blur, and then retry. Yes, are we able to see output, guys? Is it doing this blur effect? Okay, probably we have single more lines to update, but in this correct version that one is working. Okay, so we are able to see that blur effect even if I show the phone, because phone is not a part of that person from our model. We can configure it, but phone will also be blur. You will not be able to see my messages because this phone is blurred. Even if it is on top of me, you will not be able to see phone. In Google Meet, you cannot do that. In Zoom, you cannot do that. It will not blur your phone specifically. It only works for person. But here, if I want to replace, I want some parts of the image to be visible, I can configure it. That is the power of computer vision, guys. Okay? See, this phone, no messages will be visible. And if you quickly want to check what things we can do, I stopped the video. I will stop the stream because that part will be running infinitely. So now let's try to increase the blur strength. I'm making it maximum. And let's start the stream again. Let's see if it works or not. If the stream gets started, we will see a more intensified blurring effect. Okay? Okay, virtual camera running again. Let's see the output. And let me start the camera. This is more blurry. Now my background is not even visible and this phone and other things, right? So this is how we update things. And if I change this background, first of all, I have to stop the stream and I will select the default. Okay, I will select, I will mention the GitHub, guys, don't worry. I will select the default and again start the streaming. Let's wait for the streaming to start here. Okay, let's wait for the streaming to start here. Okay, it started. Then we will again open our Google Meet. Where is my Google Meet? And we'll start it here. Are we able to see a new background? Guys, we can select any background we want. We can select any videos we want if you know computer vision well enough. Okay, this cutouts and other things is doing with this model. There are better models, better approach to fix it, but this one works pretty fine. Okay, and this is what we have created in our 3 days live community session. Okay, so let me close this call, and if I'm not able to show this camera, Krish sir can handle that, but this is it for this class. But don't forget to stop the streaming because it is running on a separate thread. You need to stop it. Only then you can close your application, else you have to kill it just like I have to do. Okay, and congratulations guys, congratulations for computing. Yes, using a higher pt file will give you better results, but this is for people who already know computer vision. Okay, higher pt file, it means currently I'm using model version m small. Okay, wait, I can show you in engine.py. You have mentioned this m YOLO v8 m segmentation.pt. We have large model as well, and we have newer YOLO like YOLO V11, YOLO V12. I'm using version 8, and model size is medium. Okay, so this is what I mean. And guys, let me start the camera and let me stop my screen. And I am back. Okay.
Okay.
It
So
took a lot of time than expected. Yes.
I was also here only. So seeing each and everything, what is happening and all. But so guys, how was the project overall? Everyone, was it good, bad? So all the GitHub materials, yeah, as usual, will be available in the dashboard that is given in the description of this particular video. Along with this, we are also going to make sure that we give you all this playlist inside the dashboard itself, and also in YouTube. It will be available all the time. Okay, so it is up to you. Just go ahead and explore it. And as I have already said, I think Monal, the project is done, right? Huh?
Yes, project is completed, sir. It is done
Perfect.
end to end. Yeah.
Okay. Right. I will also update day three end-to-end customer video broadcast. Okay. So perfect, everybody. You can actually see all these things again in the dashboard. All the material will be uploaded whenever you get time, Monal. Just try to upload the
Yes.
material.
Yes, I will. Yes.
And overall, I think the video was amazing. The course was amazing, and finally we completed this in 3 days. Okay.
Yes.
So dear Monal sir, it's amazing. Out of the box project, beautiful. Please tell about books, hands-on ML. Uh, when the GitHub, I missed it. Today's session will watch the recording. Thank you, Monal and Krish. Yes, perfect. Other than that, guys, I've already shared you, like, if you are interested to start data science from scratch, then go ahead with the data science batch. Monal is also one of the mentor out there. Again, main aim over there is basically to teach you everything from scratch. But other than this, all the materials, everything will be available in the course link. Make
Mhm.
sure to hit like for this particular video. Support Monal as much as possible. You can also connect him with in LinkedIn. And as we go ahead, we will be having such kind of amazing sessions where we'll be taking up this kind of use cases. The next use cases that we are planning, it's much more amazing. We will be talking about it as we go ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody. This was
Guys,
it. Monal, I think it's about time. Like tomorrow
Yes,
morning, also you have a
yes,
class, I guess. So
yes, yes,
we'll try to close the session as early as possible. Okay.
yes,
So thank you,
yes.
everybody. Thank you, Monal, for taking this amazing session and completing it in time. This was it, everyone. Have a great day ahead. Bye bye. Take care. And all the information you'll be able to find out in the description of this particular video. Go ahead and check it out. Thank you.